Welcome everybody, Shaarq here. For my latest project in Ascendant Hardcore League, I wanted to build up something around the very well balanced Ancestral Warchief totems. To avoid flavor of the month shit with Bring of Rain and Facebreaker, I decided to do something different with Abyssus and the new introduced Kondo's Sword. Our main damage setup consists of Ancestral Warchief, melee fizz, increased crit, melee damage and full life, increased area and faster attacks. For pushing single target switch, increased area for conk effect. The movement setup consists of Leap Slam, Blood Magic, faster attacks and Fortify, it's also pretty common. For generating power charges I use Orb of Storm setup linked with increased crit and power charge and crit. Enduring Cry gives me the possibility to keep up endurance charges whenever I need them. You can also use Clarity, but it isn't mandatory. The remaining setups are however optional, use whatever you want. I recommend leveling with a two-handed melee weapon and skills like Earthquake or Thunder until you reach level 28 for Ancestral Warchief. With the fact we grab Resolute Technique at the leveling phase, don't take increased crit gem and use added fire gem instead. We start as a scion in the center, head to life with damage nodes like Constitution, Path of the Warrior, Tireless and Devotion at the beginning. Just hold a good balance between damage and life to get a smooth level experience. You can also pick up the melee damage nodes at the scion start and refund it later. It's up to you. For leveling, ignore any kind of crit nodes, that's very important. Instead go straight ahead to Resolute Technique and Ancestral Bond and switch to Ancestral Warchief for some dual totem action. After you fill out Templar area, we aim for the Duelist area, where we pick up Art of the Gladiator, Master of the Arena and Destroyer. Finally grab Golem's Blood and Thick Sin for life and Totemic Master for more damage. Now you can start grabbing Disemboweling and Fatal Blade for a bunch of crit. To make transition to crit version as smooth as possible, I recommend keeping Resolute Technique up till you reached at least one of the two crit nodes as mentioned before. At the very end we make use of our Ascendancy and grab up all the life and crit nodes in Shadow area. The link for the passive tree is in the description of this video. The Ascendancy classes of choice for this build are Assassin and Chieftain. Go for Assassin first and also pick up Path of the Shadow after completing Normal, Cruel and Mercy Lab. After Uber Lab I picked up Chieftain, which fits in really well for our kind of build. For the bandits you need to have Oak and Normal, kill them all in Cruel and help Oak in Merciless. For your gear you primarily need to look for affixes such as elemental resistance, life, armor on all your stuff. Additionally look for flat accuracy rating on at least 2 items with 200 plus rolls. Flat accuracy suffixes are possible on gloves, rings, amulets and helmets. Also look for global critical strike chance on rings and amulets. As I mentioned in the beginning, the build makes use of the two unique items Kondo's Pride and Abyssus. Kondo's Pride is cheap as fuck and strongly underrated. Cheapest go for 5 alterations at the moment in hardcore essence. But the sword gives us nearly everything we need for our build. A massive amount of pure physical deeps combined with bleeding on critical strike is insanely good. Cannot leech life from critical strikes? We don't care, we can't leech with totems anyway. The biggest downside is for sure the low base crit with only 5%, but with the right setup you can make it work. So think I don't need to say much about Abyssus. This helmet is literally pure damage. Try to get one with at least 200 crit multi and lowest physical damage taking roll as possible. I compensate the increased damage taken by using Enduring Cry with endurance charges, a granite flask of iron skin and a lightning coil. The last option the unique I recommend is Lion's Roar Granite Flask. It gives us additional melee fist damage and adds knockback to our attacks on flask use, which synergizes really well with bleeding. For flask setup in general, make sure to get rows like removes bleeding and curses on your flasks. It's really essential. As you can see, I also use a diamond flask for consistent crits. That's it boys. If you liked the video and want to see more, subscribe to the channel, really appreciate it. Enjoy!